it's Crystal here with A Broke Plant Eater. Welcome back if you are a subscriber. If you are not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You don't want to forget at the end of this video. You'll be notified every time I upload a video on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Every week, we promise you a nice and sweet recipe and a nice and savory recipe. Today is Saturday, and we are going to be dropping a sweet recipe today. Sometimes it happens on Wednesdays, sometimes it happens on Saturdays. It just happens to be Saturday. So to go back a little bit, the first time I made this recipe, I made them for our vegan Friendsgiving with my best friend and her vegan family. And it was a big hit. Everybody loved them. I was a little impressed with myself because she's a baker. I'm not a baker and she loved them. So I was like, check one for me, right? So I made them a couple of other times. They don't last long in a house full of people who enjoy cookies. So be prepared that if you make this recipe, you're going to have to make another batch to follow up. I have taken the liberty of going ahead and writing down all of the ingredients for you. I've put them on the screen, so be prepared to take a screenshot because here it is. All right, let's get right into our recipe. In a small bowl, you are going to add your dry ingredients, which is your flour, your baking powder, and your baking soda. Whisk that around until it's completely combined and set it aside and grab a large bowl. This is where you'll add all of your wet ingredients, which is your cane sugar, your butter, your vegan butter. Mix those around first, and once those have combined and completely creamed together, that's when you'll want to add the next ingredient, which is some non-dairy milk. Again, you'll whisk that around, or I just use a regular spoon. Sometimes I use a fork. Then you're going to throw in your vanilla, stir that around, and add half of the flour or dry mixture that you have already set aside. You'll mix that until that's completely combined and the dough starts to form. And then once you have that all done, you'll add the second half of your dry mixture. And just note, when you're mixing this around, it'll start to get a little crumbly, but just keep scraping down the sides and pushing down into the middle. I guess if you had a standing mixer or something of that nature, you could use that, but hey, your hand with a spoon or fork work just as well. So just make sure that once you're all set, it's completely together and it's not crumbly anymore. All right, let's create the coating that goes on the outside of the cookies. So in a small bowl, you're going to add your 2 tablespoons of sugar and a tablespoon of cinnamon. If you don't dig cinnamon as much as we do, only add half a tablespoon. And then you will take a teaspoon measure, scoop your dough, roll it into your hands into a ball, throw it into your cinnamon and sugar, roll it around, and place it on a parchment paper lined baking sheet. And then just slightly press down so that the cookie sort of spreads. They do spread out when you bake them, but not as much as you would think. You're going to want to throw these in the oven at 350 degrees for approximately 11 to 12 minutes. Once the cookies have cooled off for about 5 minutes, you can go ahead and transfer them to a wire rack. This batch that I made got about 41 cookies, so 3.5 dozen. All right, guys, our cookies are out of the oven. They have cooled down a little bit. I've actually already had one. They're absolutely delicious. I just want you guys to know that when you see this darkened color on the back, it's only because we roll the entire cookie in cinnamon and sugar. So this is just some caramelized cinnamon that's gotten a little dark. It's not burnt. It's not hard. They have this outer crunch and this really soft texture in the middle. Cinnamon's kind of our thing. So I'm just gonna go right ahead. I can eat like an entire dozen of these. Scott's on the couch right now, eating his cookies in privacy. And here I am trying to eat these for you. So I already know how delicious these are. I want you to know how delicious these are. Let us know how your family enjoyed them, if they lasted long, if you shared them with your family. Either way. All right, I'm gonna go up to the camera because I want you to see how ooey and gooey and how easily they break. That's our recipe, guys. If you tried this recipe or any of of our other recipes, please don't forget to tag us on Instagram or Facebook at Broke Plant Eater. We'd like to see your renditions and your versions of what we've got cooking and what our recipes are. So if you like this video, please don't forget to give us a big old thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.